Hey, kangaroo. Hey, come here, girls. Come here, boys. Here you go, buddy boy. Well, he got a hook sprayed down this morning. So, all right. So everybody get by one can. Just everybody line up right here and just get right here by your mom or dad. And kangaroos will all come up to you and they'll all get a bottle. Come here, buddy. Yep, so just put it out like this for him to have it in his little mouth. We gotta just let go of him and let him take the bottle. There you go.
John, where's their phone?
Yeah.
Here you go. Come here. What are you doing?
What are you doing, Tom?
Run away.
All right, Mom, you can be maternal and hold it like this.
Okay.
And just give it to it like it was a people baby.
Looks like a little baby here.
Yeah, Emerson will help you do the other one here in a minute. All right, come here, Bob.
Come on, you guys.
It's like it's cold out here. I want to be in the back. All right. There you go. Just like that. You probably want to turn your hand over. Turn your hand over like this. Your arm.
Yeah, spin you around.
Oh, we were doing so good for a second.
He is not feeling it in the bottle there.
One that doesn't want to eat for a second, and then he just decided to stop.
No.
It's not hungry.
Come here, brother.
So we got Emerson and Dave, Brooke and Adam, right?
Yes. Hey, hold it up a little higher. Is it collapsed on it? Yeah.
So that one is Josie, this one is Rosie, this one is Tom, that one is Jerry.
Hi, Jerry.
Zoe, we're gonna go see in a few minutes. Zoe's this one. Yeah. Say what? Zoe. They're sulcata tortoises. It's too cold out for them right now, so they are chilling in the kitchen currently. So one second. So Flash obviously is a sloth. Flash is a two-toed sloth or two-fingered. You guys are going to feed Flash his breakfast, and let me take a quick second to tell you the rules of the game here. So Flash has really, really terrible vision. All sloths do. Sorry, I'm a little behind. All right. So Flash has really terrible vision. He cannot see the difference between this and this. You with us, Emerson? All right. He cannot see the difference between this and this. So this is food, and you put this in his mouth. And this is not food, and you do not put it in his mouth. All right. So don't put it in his mouth. Don't put it in my mouth. Either one of us might bite you inside of our mouth. So when you give Flash his breakfast, you give it to him just like this. You say, "Hey, Flash, come here, baby." And he's like, "You guys are late. This was supposed to start 13 minutes ago." So he's wondering what's going on. If you guys have been watching us a while, this is the same room we always are in. We just got the mural painted here a couple weeks ago. So he's still waking up a little bit. And this is not where he lives. He lives in there. This is just where he does his encounters. So when he comes down to get his breakfast, you're just going to give it to him like that. And another thing I'm going to show you before you guys start giving him his breakfast is how doggone flexible a sloth is. And after he gets done chewing that, this is Fallon. Fallon's one of our main people here. Shogun is Fallon's bird.
Yes.
It's her fault that bird is here.
Was he making ruckus with his piano in there the whole time?
So a two-toed sloth is different from a three-toed sloth, and here's how. A two-toed sloth is like a slinky. So watch, he can rotate till his hips are basically 180 from his shoulders, right? So a two-toed sloth can crank really far around, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. So this is his breakfast. You guys are going to feed him this breakfast, all of it. You don't have to jam it into him like a fire hose or let him chew his food in between bites. You know, your mom will tell you to lay your fork down between bites. Same way with the sloth. Give him a bite, then let him chew it, then give him another one. So alive in the world today, there are two-fingered sloths and three-fingered sloths. Historically, they call them two-toed and three-toed. They're starting to call them two-fingered, three-fingered. It makes more sense because they all have three toes on the back feet. Two-fingered have two on the front feet. Three-fingered have three on the front feet. There's some other basic differences between them. A three-fingered sloth has 9 vertebrae in their cervical spine from their skull to their shoulders, and they have 3 vertebrae of a tail. A two-toed has no tail, and it has 5 vertebrae in its cervical spine. So the 4 that are missing from here and the 3 that are missing from there are all between the hips and shoulders of the two-toed sloth. And that is why the two-toed will turn, if this is his shoulders and these are his hips, he can turn until he's basically 180 out, because he's got all the extra vertebrae between his hips and his shoulders. The three-toed, three-fingered, has way more vertebrae in their cervical spine, so they will turn their head 270 around like an owl, like this. The three-toed sloth is a little bit smaller and a little bit slower than a two-fingered sloth is. But to describe a two-fingered sloth as faster than anything in the mammal kingdom, you could only be talking about a three-fingered sloth. Collectively, they are the slowest mammals in the world. While we're doing this, you guys are welcome to stand approximately this close to the sloth to take your pictures and selfies and whatnot. You can stand on both sides of them, you can stand all around them to get a family picture. We are happy to take your pictures for you. You can take all the pictures and all the videos you want. Dad, you're doing a great job so far, but don't fall short on taking a picture of your lovely wife with a sloth, all right? So, and yeah, you can stand like right up with him. He's not looking to bite you, just if you stick your finger inside of his mouth, you know. Don't put your finger in his, oh, I just banged into him and he's like, oh. We're gonna hold the other sloth. So, come here, buddy. Hey, Bubba. Come on back down. Come on back down. So he'll hang all the way down and you can just stand next to him. So, you guys all turn this way. Dad, you want to stand behind your son there and I'll take the picture for you. That's a cool color of a case. I'll give him another piece so he hangs back down.
Oh, come on.
Hey, Flash. Come here, buddy.
You want to eat this? Come on. Come on. Come on, you gotta come down. Come on, you gotta come down. Oh, you're so close. Come on. Come on. Alright, I'll give this one to you. There you go. Do they like fruits and stuff too, or?
They love them, but they can't have too much of them. They get 3 servings of fruit a week and they get 2 hard-boiled eggs a week.
Why can't, why, what is?
Too much sugar, too much bacteria, too little sugar, too little bacteria. They have a really, really carefully controlled diet.
Tuesdays and Fridays eggs.
Yeah.
Hi, come here.
Yeah, stick it.
So sloths are slow. Sloths are famously slow. But sloths are slow in ways you don't think about a sloth being slow. He'll wake up in a minute. We'll do the picture again in a minute. He'll bang into him with my head. That's okay. He'll hang down in a minute.
He'll come back around.
So sloths are slow in ways that you don't think about a sloth being slow. So they're slow not only in their movement, they're slow in their digestion, metabolism, metabolic processes, growth, life. They're slow in every single way. So slow in their digestion. A sloth eats a tremendous amount of food, 10% of their body weight every single day. So that's a ho-hum number until you put it in human perspective. I weigh 180. That's me rolling into Outback and saying, bring me 18 of the 16-ounce porterhouse steaks, and I'm going to plow them all down right now. So they eat a tremendous amount of food, but they digest really slowly, and it's really poor quality food, almost all leaves. So he's eating 10% of his body weight every single day, and yet going to the bathroom only once in 7 to 10 days, 3 or 4 times a month. When they do go to the bathroom, they are going to drop approximately 1/3 of their full body mass when they go.
That's pretty
They're
sad.
solid and liquid at the same time. They don't even tinkle between trips down the tree. So when the sloth goes to the bathroom 1/3, again, human perspective, I weigh 180. Divide that by 3 and feel the shudder. So go on to another topic. But so if he's going to eliminate 1/3 of his mass, that means that he did metabolize, as in convert from food to energy, 2/3 of what he ate. It's just that what he is eating in the rainforest is almost exclusively leaves, so they are of very little nutritional value. That is what makes sloths slow in every single way, is they work on a really, really low metabolic budget. So when they are in the tops of the trees, they are entirely safe from predators with the exception of eagles, because the sloth is really light. He only weighs 15 pounds, so he can go much, much further out the branch than a predator large enough to threaten his life can go. So the sloth can go way out the branch. If a big old cat tries to follow him out there to the point that the branch breaks and they fall all the way to the ground, And so they might drop 100 feet from the ceiling to the floor of the rainforest. The sloth will almost certainly survive that fall. Just keep giving them some pieces there, buddy, and then you can all get in there for your picture. So, young man, if you want to stand in front of your dad and Emerson stand in front of your mom, we'll get you a nice family picture right there. I'm just going to burn 100 and mom can sort these on the way home, right? I don't have my reading glasses on, so I can't see very well what I'm taking a picture of, but hopefully it'll be good somewhere in there.
Thank you.
So, stay down here. And so starting in December, she would spend an extra hour a day and then, build up over time to get used to her new environment down here. So she's right now at the point that she spends maybe, 6 nights a week down here, one up at the house. And she absolutely loves to be held by people. So the difference between her and Flash. Flash has never been held. I have never held Flash. I am Flash's person. I have been with Flash at least an hour a day. I think I've missed 20 days in 3.5 years. Barring that, I've been with him at least an hour a day for 3.5 years. But we interact with all our animals here in the way that they are comfortable with. Not necessarily what I wanted to do, but what they are comfortable with. So Flash, when I'm in here by myself with him, he lays his face against my face and he rubs his nose around my face and he puts his hands all in my hair like this. And he lays up against me like this. But he has never made any move to move onto my body, meaning that's not something he wants to do. That's fine. We interact with him the way that he likes. But the baby sloths come to us from a breeder who raises ambassador animals. He's a doctor of veterinary medicine. He's been doing it for 30 years. As far as I know, he is the #1 sloth expert there is. He's raising ambassadors. So these babies are being held by people from 14 days old for all of their life. But they always go back to their mother before they're weaned. After they're weaned, sloths are solitary animals in the rainforest. They live completely alone. A male and a female will come together once in a year or two for a couple of minutes to mate, and that is it. Beyond that, they are entirely solitary animals. But his mother animals are clicker trained. Click, 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 gonna take the baby, but it'll be right back. So it doesn't stress the mothers, and therefore it doesn't stress the babies. So the babies, starting from day 14, are held for 30 seconds and 45, then a minute, so on and so forth, until by the time the mother has weaned the baby, they are being held for 30, 45 minutes at a time, several times a day. But they go back to their mother. So they get all the social, nutritional benefit of being a mother-raised animal, while at the same time getting all the social benefit of being a people-raised animal. So they are entirely oriented to people. They only do 2 encounters a day, so it's the high point of their day. Today she'll only have 1 encounter because there's 4 of you, but they only do 2 encounters a day, and it's the high point of their day. They look forward to it. They love people. And we're not so much guarded about that time spent with the sloth as the number of people with the sloth. I think the places they hand them from person to person to person to person to person all day long, I don't think that's the best thing for the animal. And so the goals of this company, business, whatever, are glorify Jesus Christ in everything we do and say, make a quiet place for people to make lifetime memories with their own family and friends, and to provide exceptional care to our animals that we love, every one of them, or we wouldn't have them. But so that's the difference between the babies and Flash, is being people-oriented from birth forward. And so for her whole life, she will be a people animal. And I said earlier that she is approaching her full adult size, but nowhere near her adult maturity. So if you look at her claws, and look at her teeth, and look at her hair coat, she's nowhere near mature. Yeah, and the sloth's claws, the last bone of their finger is inside of the claw. So if you see a skeleton of a sloth, their bone is as long as the claw is. I do most of the educating with the older one. With the baby, I find a lot of people don't hear a single word I said anyway. Because it's just, holding a baby, and the other guy's standing there, wah, 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 like Charlie Brown. Did you go to space camp, Emerson?
Sure.
Did you go to space camp?
Yes.
Oh, somebody that was here recently had a shirt
really?
just like that, and they said they got it at space camp down there in Huntsville.
I was about to say, I went to that when I was that was pretty cool back then. I didn't know they still had that.
We visited it when my little boy was little, but he didn't stay for space camp. We were just there for a day. Can't get your head around how big that doggone rocket is until you see it, right?
That's a good idea. I forgot about that place.
Yeah, the Space and Rocket Center down there in Huntsville.
I grew up in Alabama.
Oh, where about?
Birmingham, south of Birmingham, Shelby.
Oh, okay. So I have a brother who lives on Inverness Parkway in Denver. He works at UAB, and my sister was on staff at Church of the Highlands for more than a decade. She just moved to Tennessee though. And I have a brother that lives in Trussville and a sister that lives in, she just moved, I think she's still in Trussville. She was in Trussville.
Yeah, all around there.
My mom lived in Leeds for 26 years.
My stepmother taught there for 30 years.
In Leeds? Oh, what's her name?
Pam Rife.
Rife.
She was in middle school there.
Oh, okay. I went my senior year of high school to Leeds. That was the only year I was there. And that was, I graduated in 1987. So
she was at the middle school there.
yeah. Before they built all new schools there.
I haven't seen that.
I guess that was, who's the basketball player that's from there?
Charles Barkley.
Yeah, Barkley spent millions of dollars to build schools in Leeds.
She taught his in the study hall or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
That neighborhood wasn't the greatest, and then you pulled in front of the school and there was his mom's house where he rebuilt her whole house and fenced it in.
Yeah. I've lived my whole life in the Midwest. I lived in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and then my family moved to Alabama. And the first year that we lived there was in Mountain Brook, and we were incredibly poor people.
That place is...
And the reason that we lived there is some guy didn't want his wife getting half of anything, so he was renting us a mansion for $600 a month. And but it was like the Clampetts came to town. I mean, I was driving a 1970 Olds 4-door Delta 88, and everybody else is riding to school in G-Wagons.
Yep.
And
it's a different area still.
Yeah. So then we moved from Mountain Brook to Leeds, so I got culture shock 2 years in a row, you know, moving from the Midwest to Mountain Brook and then moving from Mountain Brook to Leeds. So very, very diverse high school education.
The Green Wave, was that?
Yeah, right. Then I joined the Navy and never went back to Alabama. Hey.
Hi. We don't have any more spinach or anything like that for Willie in that kitchen.
Oh yeah, there's plenty right there. See McCann. So she weighs, her basic weight is 11. Right now she probably weighs 14. I weighed her the last time she went to the bathroom. I happened to have weighed her the night before. She was 14 and a half. The next morning she was 11.1. So it really is a third of their weight when they eliminate. And she is nearing her full time to go right now. So if you look at this video and then you look again in a couple days, she'll be more cylinder shaped instead of like a little fat Buddha that she is right now.
You look like you're taking a moose back.
Since she might like to eat some of these little veggies, if you two would like to take turns giving her little bites.
Get that one down, buddy.
It's like, oh, you got another one of those. Dad, are you gonna have turn holding or is it all about Mom? We often have a sloth enabler and a sloth lover.
Yeah.
So the government of Costa Rica is working really hard on educating people against sloth holding. And the reason for that is the trade of wild animals is getting just crazy. And again, for anybody online that just joined us, please don't look at what we're doing and think it's a good idea to buy yourself a sloth. It is not. If you find a sloth for sale on the internet, that is an animal that was kidnapped out of the rainforest. It will not be anything like this. Please don't try to do it. And if you are doing a sloth encounter, please look carefully at the place that you're going. If you look at ours, you'll see that our sloths are booked a total of 2 times per day. That is it. It is not just about the money, it is about the lifetime experience of cuddling a sloth that genuinely enjoys it, isn't just being forced to perform all day long. So I already gave a disclaimer earlier, but you know, people jump on and off of lives. And I do like to try to be clear. Please don't look at what we're doing and think that you should buy a sloth. That is a terrible, terrible idea. So with many of our animals, we find that animals mirror people. So if you put a nervous, excited person on a horse, you get a nervous, excited horse. With most people, people mirror the sloth. So when you hold a sloth, there's just a sense of calm that you really can't explain.
Yeah.
And people hold a sloth and just kind of exhale, you know.
My stepdad, when I was growing up, he rescued tigers and cougars and things like that. He did,
Oh, wow.
he did reptile shows for school on drugs and things like that. I
Right.
grew up in a house, like, he'd have wolves in there. I'd come to visit my mom's and he'd have some small wolves that he was watching, you know,
Oh, wow.
rescuing, and baby cougars, and he had a big tiger named Rugby in the backyard, had a big piano ball.
That's
He-
funny.
But he had a school bus full of snakes and things like that. He had a drug problem when he was younger, but as he got older, that was one of the things he did, is went to schools and taught the kids about it.
That's cool.
So it's kind of cool growing up as a
Don't scratch her. Just a slow, like a sloth, all one direction like that. She doesn't like you to scratch her. She'll tolerate it while you're giving her food, but beyond that, she really doesn't like it. We don't have, lions, tigers, bears, oh my, those are called class 1 animals. That's animals that are inherently dangerous to people or the environment. We don't have any of those here, because here, all of our animals are supposed to be, see them, touch them, pet them, hold them.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you come out on a farm tour here, you're gonna see, I think, 40 breeds of animals, and all of them are see them, touch them, pet them, hold them. And we don't rebrand as a zoo because, you know, in my and we still might, but in my perception, a zoo is a place that there's an animal out there somewhere, maybe you'll see it, and there's a crowd of people. Here, there are no crowds of people, and the animals are friendly.
Just rotate your finger to get it out of the cloth.
Well, that was a nice snack. Back to hugs.
Where's the I was holding hers?
Do you want to take a turn to hold it?
Yeah, you can hold. You're old. What's our minimum age? 8, right?
She's the size of one.
We're only on
Right here.
Instagram and TikTok right now.
All right, Zoe. Night night. Come here, sweetheart. Hey, baby. Night night. All right, she's gonna be pretty heavy for you, Emerson. She can just sit straight on your lap because you're very small.
Her expressions are awesome. I have an 8-year-old daughter that.
Oh, really?
Sweet as shit.
She looks
Don't
much bigger on
scratch her,
you.
only pet her, right?
Don't ruffle her hair.
Listen up right there. There you go. All right. Have to step away. She won't come with me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they stayed in the house with you guys when they first?
Yeah. Which means it's very, very hot in my house.
And that's what I was just thinking, they stay in a room or are they kind of free?
Huh?
Well, that's wild. This was much bigger.
She's probably pulling on her.
I'm sure it's better.
Her name's Emmy?
Aiden, did you want
That's
to
my
try to
daughter's
hold
name.
her?
It's Emerald, and then we call her Emmy.
Or Emerson.
Yeah.
All right, here we go, Aiden. Sit right on your lap right there.
Make sure you don't ruffle her fur.
Just pet her.
Oh, my hurts. Oh.
So
She tries to keep making it long.
kids have a little bit softer skin than adults do.
Yeah.
That's also part of the minimum age.
Yeah.
And he only has a t-shirt, not a hoodie. Hey, baby girl.
Aww. Good to
Good
snuggle.
girl.
She's getting you, baby.
Sure stuff. Oh, you know what I just wanted? I want to have a
You want to have a what?
sloth.
Well,
Yeah, it's not
He
nice.
said you can come back and visit sometime.
When you get a little older, you gotta be 14 to be on Sloth Keeper of the Day. That's how you come up here and you spend 3 hours with the sloths with me. You gotta be 14 to do it.
Slow down.
So look here, Emmy, see how her eyes are just barely closed right there?
Yeah.
That's because she's smelling and listening. That's how she's experiencing her environment. So like if you're trying to concentrate on a sound that you hear, sometimes you close your eyes and just listen real careful. That's what she's doing. And if you listen to the way that she's breathing, be real quiet, she'll be going. Because she wants to get right back to smelling again. So she's experiencing her world by smell and by hearing and by touch.
What kind of
So
hurt?
Aiden, if you talk quietly like me,
Can you
she'll
get
lay
it to my?
her.
Can you get Zoe to my dad?
No,
Yeah. If
I'm
you
okay.
You want to?
Should put your switches.
Turtles on these.
sulcata tortoises. She is Fiona and he is Franklin.
She said this guy's comfortable here.
Now, if you talk
This guy's real comfortable.
deep and slow like me, she's gonna bury her ear right into your neck and feel the vibrations of how you talk.
So, they
No.
self-cleaning.
No, they clean themselves.
Yeah. They like water enough.
You know, the mist, you see them, well, they love rain.
Yeah.
And they like to be in the misting bars up there. In the summertime, you know, they've got their indoors and they've got their outdoors. And as long as it's warm out, the doors just stay open. They go in and out when they want to. And if it rains and it's warm, they'll consistently go out and be in the rain.
Is it ever too hot for them, like when it gets in the?
We bring them back in if it's, 90 out or something. In the rainforest, the daytime high is in the mid to upper 80s and the nighttime low is in the high 60s. And their core body temperature, because their energy budget is so low, they don't maintain their body temperature. So their core body temperature will follow whatever the outside air temperature is. So their daytime core body temperature can be 19 degrees more than their nighttime core body temperature. Yeah.